Barakafar Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles of GMS and salutations to all of the sincere ICAM worldwide. For the purpose of this sit down, as you can see from the title of this article, it says here from the Washington Post, thousands of scientists issue bleak second notice to humanity. So in short, the scientists of today believe that the earth is basically at the brink of total chaos, man. They believe not only in regards to the people in their mind state, they believe that the actual earth in regards to how much it can sustain physically is at its basically peak. And they think that humanity is literally going to burn itself out and the earth itself is going to get replenished for all of its nutrients. But Yahweh did not design the earth for this. Yahweh designed the earth to replenish itself as long as humankind took care of it under the jurisdiction of the Israelites. But guess what? Right now, you don't have the Israelites in power. You got Edomites, these devils, these so-called white people for the majorities. Yeah? And that's why the earth is in the fucked up condition that it's in. You see here, it says here in the article, in late 1992, 1,700 scientists from around the world issued a dire warning to humanity. They said humans had pushed the Earth's ecosystems to their breaking point, really, and were well on the way to ruining the planet. Well, under the rulership of this so-called white man, of course that's the case, because really and truly, everything that he pushes, man, is off and totally against the scriptures, man. The so-called white man does not exercise anything righteous. He doesn't exercise the land Sabbath. He doesn't even allow the poor to gather the last of the harvest. Everything he does is against nature. 1 second. Yeah, this so-called white man being Esau, the devil, even though he's rebranded himself as the white man to take away his reproach, he still makes it blatant who he is through his characteristics. Now, it says in this article here that humans have apparently pushed the Earth's ecosystems to their breaking point and are well on the way to ruining the planet. It's not humans, mate. It's you Edomites. You see, you so-called white people like to pretend that you're the salt of the earth. You like to try and take our title. You've made yourself anti-Semitic. I mean, Salakia, you tell us that we're anti-Semitic if we come up against any of you Amalekites. You've taken the whole lineage of Shem and put it upon yourself and pushed out the so-called Eastern Indians, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, the so-called Arab, because all of those nations are all Shemitic, man. Whether that's Ishmael, Elam, Israel, of course, even you, Esau, you know. But really and truly, man, through biblical prophecy, the chosen line comes through Yasha Allah, man, through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But yes, we're all Shemitic. And in fact, lineage-wise, we're closer to the so-called white man than we are to Africans. Take that. How about that? You know, but that's 101. Anyway, you know, the article mentioned about the earth being defiled. And yes, right now it is being defiled because of the fact that you got devils ruling. So it says here, Isaiah 24:5, it says, the earth also, meaning the actual entire inhabited earth, the Oikomene, yeah, the actual planet, is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. So who are the inhabitants of the earth? Yes, you've got many nations. All of the 18 biblical nations are still here on the planet today. But who is the head of this society? Who is in rulership right now? Edomites, man. Anyone can see that. The so-called white man, in layman's terms, yeah, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Now, at the beginning of this video, I said to you that this so-called white man does not push anything that's biblical, because you see, Yahweh Shai was the architect of this great planet that we live on, and he gave us a guidebook for what to follow in order to keep this planet sustainable. So in the same way that you would buy a car, and if a man tells you that engineered the car, use diesel instead of any other type of fuel, you're going to use diesel because you know that's best for the car, because any other type of fuel will damage the car engine. Yahweh Shai told us how to manage the earth. He told Israel, for example, to farm the land 6 years and in the 7th year allow it to rejuvenate. He told Israel that when they gather up their crops, that they should leave they should leave some for the poor. And also, not only that, when the seed that is supposed to bear fruit, seed, so like the fruit that is supposed to bear seed, yeah, drops to the ground, any of those seeds anyway that are maybe eaten from the poor that drop to the ground, they then replenish the earth and bring up new trees, man. But Esau's out here producing GMOs and seedless fruits, giving people cancer when he's tested it on lab rats and he knows that it makes people sick. Why is that? Because he's the devil, man. Because he's changed the ordinance. You see, the ordinance. It's an ordinary thing for a fruit to naturally have a seed in it. Now, you go to your local Sainsbury's supermarket, your local Netto, Lidl, whatever the hell have you, Asda. Guess what? Or what, Macy's. I mean, whatever you got in America, But you go to your local supermarket or convenience store. It's not an ordinance that you're gonna find seed in your fruit. They've broken the everlasting covenant. How about Shai gave that covenant to Israel, and really they were never a part of it anyway. They're just being the devil, and they've taken everything that's natural about the earth and pillaged it. They're out there, investing in fracking, which is the sucking up of oil from the tectonic plates. Anything about a bicycle, basic things, man. You got to oil up that chain, otherwise eventually the friction starts, man, and it doesn't run properly. They want to take up all the oil, the earth's natural lubrication, and then wonder about why the fuck we've got earthquakes everywhere. That's the devil for you, man. And that's why he's got to be destroyed. Because Yahweh Shai created him to be the perfect devil. And he's driven the earth to the point of extinction. And he's out here putting an article out talking about how it's humankind's fault. No, Esau, you are the devil and you are the problem. It says, the lesser listed environmental impacts like they were biblical plagues. And of course, man, the earth is, defiled under the inhabitants thereof, like I just read in Isaiah 24:5. But Yahweh has put it in the spirit of you Edomites to do this to the earth, not only so that he can destroy you for the fact that you've put his chosen people under slavery, but the fact that you've defiled everything, the air that people breathe in, the food they eat, the water. You fucked with the elements. You fucked with gender. You fucked with Israel. What is there that you ain't trying to disrespect? You've even taken the lineage of the Most High's people. You've taken the image of his son and you've made it a so-called white man, a so-called pasty-ass devil like yourself, Esau. You got to pay. You really got to pay. It says stratospheric ozone depletion, air and water pollution, the collapse of fisheries and loss of soil productivity, deforestation, species loss, and a catastrophic global climate change caused by the burning of fossil fuels. That sounds like hell, man. That don't sound like the kingdom of heaven to me. So you got to tell me, if those so-called Jews up in Stamford Hill and Gold is Green are the real Israelites, why is there so much war and why is the earth still failing? I'm going to read that again, man. Isaiah 24:5. The earth also was defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. It goes on to say, therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned and few men left. Now what does that mean? That nuclear fire, baby. You see, fire is a cleansing agent because it takes away all the impurities, man. That's why you cook food, because fire takes away all of the germs, man. It burns them out. Yeah. Now Yahweh Shai is gonna send a plague on the earth, man, and that's gonna be those ICBM missiles. And in the midst of it, he's also gonna come with the chariots, man, and burn this place with thermonuclear destruction, man, through those chariots, because that technology is not new. He had it since the beginning, man. That's what hit Sodom and Gomorrah from those chariots. But obviously the scriptures describe it as what it describes it as, because the ancient prophets didn't have the terminology we have now. But Yahweh Shai had done it before, and he's going to do it again, man. It says, the new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry-hearted do sigh. And you can see it, man. People can see that this place is gone. The mirth spirit out here is finished, man. Today is so-called Black Friday. No one's out there shopping because people ain't got the money to be shopping, man. Even online, the Christmas spirit is dead. Everything about the society is finished, man. This whole society is just a wicked-ass, boring kingdom. And if you ain't doing no wickedness, there's nothing exciting to do in this kingdom. But even the wickedness is getting played out for these people, man. The whole earth is fucked. It says, if not checked, wrote scientists led by a particle physicist and Union of Concerned Scientists co-founder Henry Kendall, many of our current practices put us at serious risk the future that we wish for human society and the plant and animal kingdoms, and may so alter the living world that it will be unable to sustain life in the manner that we know. Hey, man, what does the scripture say? Unless Yahweh Shai returns, there shall be no flesh to save. Hey, man, it's not a joke. I'm gonna grab that right quick. You see, this is Matthew's, the 24th chapter and the 22nd verse. Because if Yahushua doesn't return true to biblical prophecy, man, we're fucked. We're fucked. Under Esau's jurisdiction, man, everything, nothing's safe, man. Nothing's safe at all. Not even the animals. You see here is Matthew 24 and 22, and it says, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. Meaning that unless Yahushua does something to stop this devil, this mad scientist, this cracker, yeah, nothing on the planet is going to be saved. Not even his dumb ass, because he's poisoning the earth that his own stupid ass has to breathe. He's poisoning his own drinking water supplies that he has to fetch from eventually, no matter where it comes from, really and truly. He's poisoning his foods, man, and he's destroying his people, man, in the process. That shows you this devil just can't be trusted. Matthew 24 and 22 again, and it says, except those days should be shortened, meaning that, you know, Yahushua speed the time like he's doing. There shall no flesh to be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So really and truly, the only reason that this prophecy is going to come to pass, the only reason that days are going to seem like hours and Yahushua is literally going to push the spirit of the time is for the elect's sake, man. It's 144,000. That's the only reason why the earth is going to be saved from utter destruction. Other than that, man, the Most High could create a whole new earth and really put his elect first and foremost, and then the rest of Israel on there, because all Israel will be saved ultimately. But on this side, man, you got nothing but folly, man. Everywhere you go. In fact, I'm going to Google some of those after. Let me just quickly get into this article a bit more, man, because I don't want to just, you know, waffle. It says, but things were only going to get worse. To mark the letter's 25th anniversary, researchers have issued a branch-bracing follow-up. In a communique published Monday in the journal Bioscene, more than 15,000 scientists from 184 countries assessed the world's latest responses to various environmental threats. Once again, they find us sorely wanting. It says, humanity has failed to make sufficient progress in generally solving these foreseen environmental challenges. And alarmingly, most of them are getting far worse, they write. Hey, man, but who is the world under the jurisdiction of? The damn fucking devil, man. The devil. It says that most of them are getting far worse. Hey, man, what does the scriptures say, man? Let's get it in, man. Let's get it in. This is all biblical prophecy, baby. I hope for whoever's watching this, I'm just bringing out the fact that this man is the devil. 2 Ezra 6 and 9, and it reads, for Esau is the end of the world. In fact, let me start from verse 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him. You know, you can read about that in Genesis 25th chapter. Jacob's hand held first the hill of Esau. Now that was symbolic. Jacob's hand holding the hill of Esau was symbolic of the fact that we're going to pull these so-called white people down from their power seat, man. Yahushua is going to restore Israel back to our rightful stead as leaders, and we're going to pull Esau down, man, from his rulership seat. And it says in verse 9, for Esau, being the so-called white man and the rest of his nation, is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Meaning that this so-called white man is going to bring the earth really to the point of extinction. And then Yahushua, through, you know, the angels, Yahushua, of course, and you know, the elect of Israel, man, are going to really and truly, in layman's terms, vanquish the so-called white man. We're going to take him out and destroy him, man. And then really truly bring in that righteous stead and rejuvenate the kingdom. We're going to have the elites of these so-called white people burying dead bodies when the time comes, man. Literally. And they're literally going to be like human manure, human charcoal, man. Adding to the nutrients, man. Their bodies are going to be the nutrients for the soil. All of those dead Edomite bodies, man. Including their women and babies. And yes, that sounds harsh. But guess what? You've destroyed the earth. You kill the animals, man. Everywhere you go, you got so-called extinct species. I mean, come on, man. Every other year they add a couple more animals onto that. Why? Because the so-called white man is destroying their habitat, man. Deforestation is a problem. Oil spills in the ocean is a problem. Pollution of the air, birds dropping from the sky. Come on, man. What ain't this white man done? He's even trying to fuck with gender, like I said. Man. Anyway, I'm going to get to the main bits in this, and then I'm going to bring out a few bits. It says global climate change sits at the top of the newsletter list of planetary threats. Global average temperatures have risen by more than 0.5 degrees Celsius since 1992, and annual carbon dioxide emissions have increased by 62%. But as far from the only problem people face, access to fresh water was declined, as has the amount of forest land and the number of wild caught fish. It says the number of ocean dead zones has increased. The human population grew by a whopping 2 billion. What does the scripture say? If their children be increased, it's for the slaughter, man. Yahweh is allowing these people to be multiplied. Hey, that's just more fuel for the fire, baby. And a lot of people that literally are going to be human manure. Thus says the scriptures. Anyway, while the population of all other mammals, reptiles, amphibians, and fish have declined by nearly 30%, it says populations of all other mammals, reptiles, yeah, fish decline. I'm gonna answer that. It says and fish have declined by nearly 30%. Man. The rapid global decline in ozone depleting substances shows that we can make positive change when we act decisively, the letter says. The authors offer 13 suggestions for reining in our impact on the planet, including establishing nature reserves, reducing food waste, developing green technologies, and establishing economic incentives to shift pattern consumption. And it just goes on and on. But in short, man, you can see that this so-called white man's the devil because he is not naturally righteous, man. He is naturally a devil, man. And Yahweh has not created this man to be righteous. That's why he's doing all of the wickedness that he's doing. But let's see what the scripture says in Habakkuk 2:4. It says, behold, his soul, which is lifted up in him, meaning that prideful spirit that this Edomite has, man. The average Edomite, especially these elites, of course, it's not upright in him. So he wasn't created to be right, man. However, the just shall live by faith. But the just shall live by faith. It reads verbatim. Only Israelites, man, are going to be saved. Because you see, an Israelite is naturally akin to caring for the environment. An Israelite is naturally akin to caring for animals, man. Because the Most High Yahweh has put it in our spirit to be like that. But this so-called white man, the devil that he is literally destroying the earth, man. The thief cometh not but to steal, kill, and destroy. That's that John 10:10. You know, that's 101 scriptures. I ain't even got to bring that one out. But you can see, man, that the earth, man, is totally defiled. Totally defiled. I mean, let's just look this up. Problems. All I got to do is do a basic general search. What is the most serious problem facing the world? Let's look at it. So, 5 of the world's biggest problems. Yeah. It's going to sound so fucked. Air pollution and climate change. Overloading of the atmosphere and ocean waters with carbon. I ain't even got to go into all that. Let's look for number 2. Deforestation. Cutting down the trees. So he's fucking with the air. Fucking with the trees. Species extinction. Fucking with the animals. And look right there. Damn Edomite devil. Soil degeneration. He doesn't follow the land Sabbath. He overuses the soil rather than giving it a 7th year. Claims overpopulation. But what does the scripture say, man? Basic 101. In Genesis, the 1st chapter. What did Yahweh say? Let's read it. Yeah. Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. So the powers created man in their image. And the image of the powers created they them. Yeah, because the angels created everything with Yahweh under the instruction of Yahweh. It says, and the powers blessed them and said, and the powers said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it. What does that mean? Spread seed and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. So we were supposed to have rulership and really look after them, man. But what does this so-called white man do? Destroy every fucking thing. Everything, man. Everything. And he's saying that the human population growing is a problem. That's why they're bringing in the chip, man. Because that chip is going to be a way of monitoring you people. That chip is going to be a way of really and truly cutting off people when they need to, you know? Hey, man. The whole earth is fucked right now. Everything is fucked. People are morally fucked, spiritually, physically. I mean, come on, man. So many problems that are just not getting solved under the jurisdiction of the so-called white man, man. Because he's the devil. So really and truly, what's going to happen to him, man? Yahweh is going to have to rid us of this devil in order to save the earth. And that's literally what it is. So what's going to be the end-all be-all for these Edomites? Because of all of the wickedness they've done, not only to Esau, but the actual planet earth. Let's read it. Obadiah, verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. and the house of Esau, being these Edomites, yeah, for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, meaning Israel is going to not only rule over the Esau for 1,000 years in hardcore slavery, but we're going to literally break them into pieces, man, and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai have spoken it. And if you can see the wickedness that this man is about, if you can see the fact that he ain't leading the earth in no righteous direction, then hey, man. And if you're in the right spirit, then you're going to be with that. I'm going to leave it there. Shalom. Shalom.